One thing you need to know about the American politicians is that they always use women who are aesthetically pleasant according to the American norm to promote their fascism and to promote their ideologies that are segregated towards people of color, towards women themselves, and towards the middle and the lower classes. And I honestly have been thinking about these things for quite a long time, and I have an example of three main figures that are representing the American fascism right now. And you should be aware that everybody is calling what's going on in America right now fascism, because we have seen videos of immigrants being taken in streets in front of their children. I saw a Mexican man having a seizure because ICE agents were taking him forcefully from his car while his child was crying, and his wife was begging for ICE agent to leave him because he was having a serious seizure. And I also have seen videos of children being taken from their parents because they just happen to be immigrants, but they are still children of 6 and 7 years old, but yet they were taken by ICE agents and nobody knows where these children are going. And even if you are going to take them to orphanages, why are you doing this to an innocent child? Why are you doing this to children? Do you think a child can grow up healthy in an orphanage while his parents are well alive and healthy and can take care of him? This is a complete destruction of the emotions and of the mental health and psychological health of children and adults, just because they are immigrants again, or they come from an immigrant family. And this is really upsetting because we cannot see this as a fair thing to do. ICE agents are just abducting people who are working normally, who are working legally, who built the US, with their blood and their sweat. I'm talking about the Black communities and the Latinos who were the major target of ICE agents. The first figure I'm going to be talking about is the wholly loved Taylor Swift. She is a billionaire. She has a huge platform. She is pretty much heard and powerful and have access to any sort of channel to give a little sentence about what's going on in her country, but yet she refused to do that. She never spoke about any kind of social or humanitarian crisis or social issue. She's never defended any humanitarian cause. I don't know why, because she's almost 40. She has the wealth that everybody dreams of. She has the fame. She has everything. But yet she refused to talk about any humanitarian cause, whatever it is, about human rights, women's rights, equality, anything. This is why Taylor Swift has been favored by the system, because she does not stand for anything. She is just there. I feel like she has no taste, no color, nothing. If you know what I mean. And then her songs were played by the Trump administration to promote his ideology and to promote himself, his image, his family, and the whole fascist far-right ideas. And ironically, he was playing in one of their promotions. They were playing Father Figure. I've never heard her songs, or I don't even know what they talk about. But the name itself is so triggering because America has been pushing for years for this patriarchal system. And honestly, they don't need to push for it because it is stable and it is well built in the US. And the reason why I'm saying that, because women have no access and no right to abortion, only in a few states, even if they were sexually assaulted. They cannot have an abortion. Children or teenagers or women in general cannot have this. What kind of system does this if it's not a patriarchal system that chooses to decide the life of people and the life of women and teenagers and girls in general? And the funny thing that Taylor Swift was sometime in her career defining herself as a feminist, but she never stood for that. And her songs are being played by the fascist figures and those people who are calling for a patriarchal system. And it is so upsetting that her fans cannot see anything wrong with her. Because, as I said, she is favored by the system because she is the white, blonde, loved, aesthetically pleasant figure for the American system. And the second figure that is so triggering to everybody is Sydney Sweeney and her jeans ad, who are promoting blatantly white supremacy, favoring the white jeans, being white, blonde girl. And those racist people somehow became bolder with this like government, and with Trump coming into power, they were like bolder and they were expressing their racism comfortably because there isn't anything that makes them feel ashamed or shameful. And this is what the American Eagle did with Sydney Sweeney and the ad. And by the way, they did not apologize for the ad, nor Sydney Sweeney apologized for what she presented and did. And in fact, in an interview, when the host asked her, "Do you have anything to say about it?" she said the ad speaks for itself. And I feel, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, I feel like Sydney Sweeney is the dumb blunt that the system favors also. You have to be blunt, you have to be white, and you have to be dumb, with no expressions, with no power in you, not standing for any sort of cause, if you know what I mean. Not standing for human rights or women's rights or whatever. Be this dumb blunt, and you're gonna get the roles and you're gonna get the film and shows and everything you want. Because even her acting, she doesn't know how to act, but yet she finds ways to find films and movies, and TV shows to hire her. And I think she's the only figure that actually ruined and literally ruined Euphoria for people, even though I haven't watched all of it. I just like watched scenes on TikTok, as a lot of people did. Last person I would be talking about, because I feel like this is going to be triggering to a lot of people, is Erica Kirk. That woman just popped out of nowhere just because her husband was killed publicly, as a lot of Palestinians and as a lot of Yemenis and as a lot of Iraqis and as a lot of people were killed, because he has no privilege. We are all human beings, not because somebody has a platform or fame or a mic to speak on, meaning that they are privileged or they are better than anybody else. We are just equal, and we need to treat the killing of a person as serious as the killing of a president or of a known figure, because we are all equal, and we need to learn that in our minds. Those million Iraqis and those hundreds of thousands of Palestinians and those like millions of people who are dying in war, they are just the same. But this woman popped out of nowhere and is trying to define and show people that she is a religious, honest woman, and she started appearing in podcasts and shows and the White House, and promoting the Trump administration and their ideology and talking next to him for no reason to anybody. Like, you cannot understand, what is this woman doing? Like, your husband was just killed publicly. How you cannot be sad? I just don't understand it. And she's anytime, everywhere, in full glam, shining like nothing happened. And then she came like on a mic and saying, "I forgive the person who killed him." Like, girl, what do you mean you forgive him? They want to tell you that the Trumpism ideology and the far rights and those people who define themselves as Christian, they are so forgiving, when they are not. This is not their reality, and you cannot be this forgiving publicly. And you have the right to be upset and sad if somebody did something to a loved one, because this is not right. She is not a saint to appear like that, because you are mispresenting women who are going through the same thing that you are going through, but they are not billionaires or millionaires like you. Because after the death of your husband, you just inherited millions from his wealth, and you gained like full ownership of an organization where you allegedly trafficked teenage girls to veterans. And a lot of people are talking about this. A lot of people wrote about this. But she just like appeared as this saint who's so forgiving and who said, "I forgive the person who just killed her husband publicly." All of this, I feel like all of this is a show, and a lot of people are aware that it is a show. And those politicians are so smart to just bring these dumb girls and use them because they have pleasant figures and they are beautiful the way they want them to be beautiful, and make them promote their ideologies as this cute, nice idea that is friendly, eco-friendly, human-friendly, when it is the complete opposite. You cannot live in a country where you are just promoting hate and segregation towards a group of people. Not just one group, but various groups. Women, immigrants, black communities, brown communities, people of color, middle and lower class. This is what America is doing. They are promoting the hate through these women and making it look like normal, because these women are a part of the system. So you have to see it as a good system. So let me know what you think about all of this talk and about the American system, and thank you for watching.